In the darkest hours of history, two men emerged, each driven by a vision so twisted, so monstrous, that it would reshape the world in blood and fire. Adolf Hitler, the man who promised vengeance and conquest. Joseph Stalin, the leader who built an empire on fear and paranoia. These two men, these tyrants, would clash in a battle that not only changed the course of history, but ignited a war unlike any the world had ever seen. A war where ideologies collided in a violent explosion of hatred, ambition, and death. This is the story of their rise, their betrayal, their war. A story of evil that crossed borders and consumed millions. When Hitler met Stalin, the world bled. 1. The rise of tyrants. Hitler and Stalin. Seize power darkness doesn't fall all at once. It creeps quietly through broken systems and wounded nations. In the ashes of World War I, two monsters emerged from the shadows. One wore the mask of revolution, the other, the mask of redemption. But behind both was tyranny. Joseph Stalin, born into poverty, learned early that power is taken, not given. As Lenin's health faded, Stalin maneuvered, eliminated rivals, and reshaped the Soviet Union into a state ruled by fear. By the late 1920s, he reigned unchallenged. Meanwhile, in defeated Germany, Adolf Hitler rose from obscurity. A failed artist with a venomous voice, he offered not peace, but vengeance. And the people listened. In 1933, Hitler took power. The Reichstag burned, democracy died, and a dictator was born. Two paths, one goal, absolute control. They were not yet enemies, but history had already begun its descent into darkness. 2. Ideologies in collision. Nazism versus communism. As Stalin and Hitler rose, their worlds couldn't have seemed more different. One preached class struggle, the other racial supremacy, but both crushed freedom and ruled through fear. Stalin's communism promised equality, but delivered gulags, famine, and purges. Hitler's Nazism glorified the Aryan race and turned hatred into policy. Enemies on paper, mirror images in practice. Each built a cult of personality, each silenced opposition, each bent reality to their will, and yet, before their armies clashed, they made a choice: to shake hands with evil. 3. A pact with the devil. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Agreement, August 23, 1939. Two tyrants struck a deal. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact was a mask, hiding a monstrous plan. Hitler and Stalin secretly carved up Eastern Europe, dividing Poland, the Baltics, and more. Days later, Hitler invaded Poland from the west. 16 days after that, Stalin invaded from the east. Poland was erased, its people crushed between two empires. The world watched in horror, the war had begun, and for a moment, enemies became partners, united not by trust, but by ambition. But behind their smiles, betrayal waited. 4th Operation Barbarossa. When the devils turned on each other, June 22, 1941, Hitler struck first. Operation Barbarossa, Nazi Germany's largest military invasion, shattered the Soviet border. 3 million soldiers surged east. The Luftwaffe roared overhead, and Stalin was silent. Caught off guard, he disappeared from public view. But Hitler didn't wait. Cities fell, villages burned. The Einsatzgruppen followed, leaving mass graves in their wake. But Stalin recovered. He rallied. Factories moved east, and weapons poured west. As winter hit, German tanks froze in the snow. The Blitzkrieg broke. Two monsters now stood locked in the bloodiest war in history. There would be no peace, no surrender, only fire, ice, and death. 5. Legacy of blood, the death toll, and the aftermath. The war ended, but the scars never healed. Hitler's dream died in a bunker beneath a shattered Berlin. His empire collapsed. His crimes echoed through history. 6 million Jews murdered, nations in ruins. Stalin, the victor, emerged from the rubble. But his legacy was written in blood. Gulags, famines, forced labor. Over 20 million lives lost to his rule. The question remains, Who was worse? But perhaps it doesn't matter. Both men ruled with terror, both silenced truth, both sacrificed millions for their own twisted visions. The world survived, but it never forgot. Because this wasn't just war, it was annihilation. Condensed dramatic outro history remembers wars and dates, but behind every number is a scream. Hitler and Stalin didn't lead. They ruled through terror. Their promises led to graves. They built empires of fear. And when they clashed, the world burned. Millions died. Nations fell. Humanity cracked. Their shadows still linger. Their lessons still haunt. Because evil doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. And when tyranny rises, silence is not an option. This wasn't just a war. It was evil versus evil.